welcome to the Choir Directors Academy. I am your host, Angela Lane. It's so good to see each and every one of you out there. It's been a long day, but I didn't want to let this day pass. Unfortunately, I had to miss last week, but I'm here this week. So do me a favor. Facebook, like and share this video. YouTube, subscribe, hit the subscribe button and send a text or something to your friends. Let them know that the Choir Director Academy is on the air. Thank you so much for what you're already done on both sides of the table, Facebook and YouTube. The numbers have been increasing. People have been liking the page and sharing the information with their friends. Also, I do appreciate you all messaging me for ideas on how to better manage your choir, for asking about instructional videos. We are working on that, and that is something that will be coming out in the future. But giving me ideas for the shows, which I kind of work away in that way, sort of. But I'm thankful that I am reaching so many people and I'm actually helping people. That is a beautiful thing, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Listen, this is going to be kind of a short show on tonight, but I just wanted to continue on in the vein that I was in on last week, talking about the ABCs of choir directing. And that depends on whether you want a great choir or you just want a choir. But all of us, I do believe in our hearts that we really want to take our gifts, use them and hone them and bring that skill level up so that we can use it to produce a better choir, to present to God the music department that we desire to give him. That was one of the things that I told God to help me and to bless me to become very good at what I do so that I can present to him a beautiful music department, making sure that I won't be one of those who had gifts and talents and buried them in the ground, but use them to benefit and bless the people of God. Again, this is part 2, the ABCs of choir directing. Let's review what we did last week. A, the first letter of the alphabet, A for access. We need to be able to have access to different materials to enhance our knowledge. B, believe in what you're doing. C, we must have character. Oh my goodness, that's a thing of the past, seem like in this world today. D, be dedicated in what you're doing. E, be an example of what you're doing. F, facial expressions. That brought out a bunch of laughter on last week about our facial expressions and how we look when things don't exactly go the way that we want it to go. We still need to be careful with those. We don't want to discourage the team. G, just be plain old grateful that God selected you and gave you the opportunity to use your gift for his blessing. Hey, Beverly, good to see you. Now let's move on. H, helpful. As a director, you must be helpful. There are some choir members that have struggled. There are some musicians that have a struggle in getting the music just right or singing that note just right. We need to have helpful spirits, okay? Actually, because we are over the choir, we need to be able to translate what we've heard and give it to them to help them to learn their parts and to perform at a maximum level. We can never pull ourselves in and say, well, you got to get it yourself. I got it myself. You have to get it yourself. Understand you were chosen to be the choir director because there's something in you that's greater than what the rest of the team has. That's why you're leading the team, right? So in that case, they are right in coming to you, asking you for information. Next one, I, initiator. A lot of times we have choir members it appears that they're not interested, they're not doing anything. Sometimes those choir members, and I found out for myself, I just don't know what to say. They don't know what to do. And sometimes we have to take the initiative to assign them something, and that way we'll find out that we end up tapping into some unmeasurable talent. Because sometimes people just really don't know what they're capable of doing. So by assigning them something small, you'll be surprised that you tap into, like I said, an area of talent that you didn't know you had, and it can be used to bless the entire choir. All right. J, jubilant. Nobody likes a dull choir director. Somebody coming in, you're not excited about what you're doing. Generally, that's something that is innate. If anybody is excited and ready to go, as they say, ready to rock and roll, will be the director or the directress, whichever one. Make sure that, generally we are music people. We're excited. We kind of like that quirky kind of person. So in that instance, we need to bring that spirit with us, be ourselves and bring that with us so that the choir will be able to grab hold and they become whoever you are. You must remember, I try to stress that to all new directors, the choir is only going to do what you do. And if you give 100%, chances are you're going to get about 75% back from them what you put out. So you have to kind of go beyond the door, be that extra jubilant person in order to get that out of them. K, kind. Nobody likes a mean choir director. I know it's everybody, we say dead, but we definitely don't want somebody mean. I know we've heard in the past, and one of my mentors, she, when things didn't go right and you didn't sing right, she throw a shoe. Some people yell, scream, holler, whatever. I trust me, I get it. You want the song right. But being mean doesn't necessarily mean that is going to get right. You don't want people responding to you out of fear. You want them to respond to you because they respect you and they got the vision and they see which way you're going and they want to be a part of what you're doing. So we don't want to be mean. We want to be kind and be able to show that and help them in whatever area they need to be helped. This one is for the choir members as well as the choir director. You need to have a learning spirit. You need to be a learner. Music is one of those arts that you just can't say, well, I got it and I'm done and this is what. Things are always changing. There are always innovative ways to learn how to do things, to be a part of things. There's always a way to do that. Okay, so you want to have a learning spirit. Choir members have to have a learning spirit too. You can show this video to them. Choir members, you have to have a learning spirit. I remember when I took over the choir, I had some people that were already telling me that, I already know how to sing, and I'm sitting there going, okay. You already know how to sing. You need me to help you. And it's just like, no, I already know how to sing. And then when I started actually going through, because I teach a cappella. I don't teach the same, with music. I don't like teaching with music. I really don't, because then people don't really understand, you rely on the music, and then if something happens, you can't sing because you're depending on the music. And when as I taught the choir, that person began to sing, well, maybe I really don't know how to sing. Maybe not. Yes, you do, but there's always a more excellent way to learn to sing better. One thing, before I had my injury to my voice, before then, I was one of those people that never got hoarse because I had been trained properly. I learned how to sing in the church, but then when I went to high school and college, I had to learn they taught me how to sing the proper way. And I never was hoarse ever singing when I sang properly. So you have to have a learning attitude, a learning mind to learn, and be willing to listen to other people that may be more gifted in it than you are. And that goes for choir members as well. You have to have a learning or teachable spirit when you come to rehearsal to learn. Everybody has to have a learning spirit. And when we both work together to try to learn, then it just makes it shifts the atmosphere, and we can feed off one another and do an excellent job before God. My last alphabet on tonight is motivator and music lover. We have to motivate them to do their best. I like to see choir members when they sing that they're smiling. I hate to see stone faces when people are singing, because then you're looking like you're not really enjoying it. I know it takes a lot of energy to sing, and you don't want to use all of your strength in your emotions. You don't want to use all your strength when you're singing. You kind of have to channel it so that you have enough air to get the note out without straining, but then you also want to look pleasant. So when you're directing, I tell people, when you're directing, try not to have that mean, like a gritty face. Motivate people. When I direct a choir, I'm like in a whole nother world, a whole nother space. I am just like on cloud nine because I hear the music and I get up there and I sing along with the choir and I'm emotional and that motivates them to sing. And a lot of times they may not feel like singing, but they're like, I just got with you. You know, I just focused on you and you're excited. I said, well, I'm going to do the same thing that she's doing. Be that motivating person. However you feel, as I keep telling choir directors, however you feel and what you do transcends to them. They follow what you do. So you need to be a motivated person, a motivator. But, you know, and it sounds strange for me to say a music lover, but there are some choir directors that do not submerge themselves in music. I don't know how, but they only listen to music to pick a song, to direct it, and keep going. And I'm like, how in the world can you direct a choir and not be a music lover? You know, I understand some directors are not instrumentalists. That okay, you know, and if you have a good ear, you can pretty much work around not being an instrumentalist. I happen to be one, not only a directress, but an instrumentalist and a singer. So it's a little easier for me, you know, to pick songs. And then sometimes you can arrange them and just do all kinds of things. That's what, you know, it needs to be in you that way. Nobody wants to sing the same song every time we sing it the same way. Think about it. It's kind of boring. Music is not boring. It's so interchangeable. You can take those chords and just end it on a fourth, and you end it on a seventh, and put a little tension in there, jump back to the first. I mean, you can just do so many different things. You have to be a music lover and you have to be a motivator in order to get that choir to do exactly the way you want it to be. Hey, Kimberly, just a couple of shout outs. Hey, Kimberly, Daryl, it's good to see you. That's what you want to do. So let's start from the top. Like I told you, this is going to be a very short show on tonight. We want to be helpful. We want to do what we can to help those choir members and our musicians to be the best that they can be. We want to be the initiator. Search out new talent. Don't rely on just your same little 3 or 4. Train other people to be like backups. You know, because we never know what will happen. Somebody may get a job, they have to move somewhere. Somebody may get sick, they may have to work, and you're depending on that small crew. You'll be out, you know, you'll mess it up. You will mess it up. Jubilant, be happy, be joyful in what you do. Don't make it. I do understand sometimes the choir can get to your nerves, and you just like. You know, they can do it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that every Sunday will be peaches and cream or whatever your favorite food is. No, it will not. But even in what we do, we still need to be jubilant, is it? Because it probably just 1 or 2 people. You don't want to punish the entire group for 1 or 2 persons, right? Amen. Amen. Kimberly made the comment. She said, not spiritually connected nor in tune with your leader. You have to. You have to be in tune. Next, Kay, we want to be kind. We want to be kind to people. You have to be kind. I used to tell choir members, not choir members, choir directors, you can't direct people and not speak to them and not be nice to them. They're not going to get with you. I'm sorry. You know, that used to be my pet peeve when we're all sitting there waiting for the director to come in and they come in, you know, just and won't speak, just, all right, stand up and stop the rhythm. You know, it's just like, hello, how are you? You know, what kind of day did you have? Be kind. Just be kind to people. You want to be kind. And kindness really does go a long way. Learner, as I said before, make sure you learn. Make sure you have a spirit of learning and be able to communicate with people. Create a dialogue between you and the choir. You want to do that. You don't want to be stand up, I'm director, you choir, you do as I say. A lot of people think that that's leadership. Leadership is not all about telling people what to do. Leadership is showing them how to do it. Be a part of the process. Show them how to do it. A lot of times, sometimes we get a little frustrated. And I understand. Trust me, I understand. You get a little frustrated. And sometimes it's just that your team doesn't know how to do it. It's not that they don't want to. They just don't know how. All right. So you have to watch your team, learn them, learn when they're unable, when something is above their pay grade. You understand what I'm saying? Some things, you know, if for instance, if you have a choir, if you have multiple choirs, then maybe if this choir, if this chorale, it may be too high for that particular person. Then shift them to a choir where it's not as stressful as being in the group. Like I know I have who I'm singing with now. I have high demands. I have high standards. Now everybody else that's singing, make a joyful noise. I'm not worried about you. Okay. But the group that's with me that goes out and sings and represents, oh, there's a standard for you. You need to meet. I'm sorry. I'm not compromising. This is what I need to hear. Okay. But at the same time, I have to learn them and know when a song is beyond their reach, when they need extra. I have to learn. I have to have the ability to learn them and know how to reach them in order to increase their learning. And then we all benefit to that. Okay. Finally, be that motivator and be that music lover, director. You can't lead people unless you motivate them or you love music. That's just basic things. Okay. So those are the 6 things that I had on tonight. I know this show is kind of quick and to the point, but I do have other letters of the alphabet, but I don't want to like brainstorm you at one time. I want it to kind of sink in and give you a chance to just think about what I've been saying and be able to translate that in your own way to the people that you lead. A couple of shout out. Hey, Connie. Hey, Shanita. Just translate that to the people that you're leading. Remember, you are a team. You are all of you. You need. They need you to lead, and you need them the same. Because you believe me, I don't care what kind of who you're leading. If you don't have anybody following you, you're walking alone. That is a very, then you're not really a leader. But when you have a team of people who are willing to come to rehearsal, who are willing to work with you, who are willing to put the time in to practice and study, be thankful. Approach them. I'm not saying that everything, all choir members are, whatever, but approach them. Don't make the good ones suffer for the couple that might be doing those things. My thing is, and I've had that where you had the majority of the choir was okay, and then you had a couple that were kind of like always doing something. It takes much prayer so that you don't react. Because remember, you have more to lose than they do. No matter what goes on, when something happens, they're going to look at you, not the choir members. It doesn't matter. I hate to tell you, as they say, I came to tell you. That's how it is. So you want to take these tips that I've learned, and I'm going to get copyrighted too, but I've learned as being a choir director and winning competitions with, that is like the hardest thing. I think to me personally, doing a recording is much easier than doing a competition, entering a competition with a choir, because with a competition, there are no do-overs. So I'm kind of a little more stringent with everything, enunciation, tone, diction. I mean, everything. I'm a little more intense because in my mind, even though I'm working with a church choir, or even though I may be doing something to prepare for a recording, there are no do-overs. In my mind, I've been trained, there are no do-overs. Once you sing and that note comes out and it's not right, we can't fix it. We're done, So, I mean, it depends on but you can train your choir to be very good. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, I've had 20, 25, I've had 15, I've had 12, I've had 6, I've had 9. Okay. So it doesn't matter in which each choir, I work with them and get them to a point where each person can hold their own. Each person, I've trained them to properly sing so that each one sounds like 2 people. So if I have 9 people and they sing the way I trained them, they will all it'll sound like 18, 20 people up there. And it can be done. And that's what I'm going to talk about in the next coming weeks. I'm going to have one of my friends here who's a vocal coach, and we're going to discuss ways that you can work with your choir and get them to the point that where you can trust them to learn a song on your own, and get them to the point where they sing properly and the sound is projected and they sound like a multitude of people. It can be done. I've done it for years. I've done it. I've been a choir director for at least 30 years, and I've won competitions with a small crowd. And the main thing that I hear from everybody is, How did you get those little people to sound like this big mass? It wasn't, no, it wasn't the microphones, and it wasn't, any kind of tricks or anything. It's just proper singing, standing, proper training. And that's what I use. So in the coming weeks, we will discuss that. And it would be a great video. She's a great lady, and she's an excellent vocal instructor. And I'm gonna have her with me. I mean, I can do it myself, but I like to kind of bounce off. And I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna do scenarios. Whereas one time I'll be that perfect choir member, and then I'll be that unperfect choir member. I'll put it that way, which will give you an idea of how to work this out. All right. And I think that would be great. I think that's a great idea. And then you can take those ideas and implement them in your house, in your church house, and help you to develop that choir to be what you want it to be. That's all I got on tonight. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope that I helped you, as my Southern friends would say. I hope that I helped you on tonight and gave you something. I do have other parts of the alphabet, but I may interject the vocal side just to break it up a little bit and make it more interesting. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you all have a lovely evening and a lovely rest of the week, and we will be back next time. Choir directors, we rock. Thank you so very much. Have a lovely evening.